With so many general partners, limited partners, thought leaders and academic experts here, SuperInvestor 2014 gave a global economic insight. So what impact are geopolitical factors having in the industry?
Well, I think people in general are worried about political uncertainty, aren't they? So whether that's a potential exit of the UK from Europe, or whether it's about tensions within the European community, whether it's about on a bigger geopolitical level, tensions between other countries, Middle East, Asia, I think it's of general concern to investors. It's not something that we can influence, quite frankly, but it's something that we have to live with.
I think there's too many vested interests on both sides. I also think that politicians tend to posture quite a bit, but if you talk to business leaders on both sides of the channel, I think no one would really want that to happen. It would be quite traumatic for everyone.
Of course, you can't ignore the macro environment that a company is operating in. And so before making a decision whether to invest in a company or not, of course, you have to look at the country level. You have to look how is the country performing. You need to look at the GDP numbers. But I think ultimately the decision is, of course, based on the ability of the company to generate returns, right? And I think Europe is full of those companies who have the potential to grow even more and to become, world champions in their specific area. And so in a way they probably can perform regardless how the country as such is performing. But I think it is still fair that every investor, of course, needs to also check on the macro environment before making an investment decision.
There has been always a temptation from the UK to think differently, to behave differently. Look at British cars. This has been historically a temptation. So it hasn't yet materially. It's not concrete, but could happen. Difficult to say.
Europe is going to stay together. It's going to evolve, but I don't think this is a topic now.
I think when you look at it in proper perspective and context, it's a lot of narrative and dialogue around it, but in practical application in a world in which we live in that's very uncertain. There's not a lot of confidence in top-line growth, uncertainty about entering a deflationary environment. With all those broad uncertainties that's happening and the global broad uncertainty, I think there's more narrative and dialogue than practical execution in that happening. So it's certainly been discussed, but I would say that from the perspective that we're seeing from the private market side, generally I would think it would be a low probability that were to occur.